Okay, in this first demo, I've got some drums here. Let's listen. Okay, and these drums, true to my template, my performance template. If you go to I/O, the drums are sent to sub 3. Okay, now in the master mixer, if we go to effects, we can scroll over, we'll see that on sub 3, which is the drums, I have a limiter to make things a little louder, and I have a granulator. Okay, when you open up this granulator, the mix is turned all the way down so you don't hear it. Okay, but I have a macro that's going to many of these functions. If I hit knobs here, this macro right here is connected to density of grains, the overall mix, the length of the grains, and the pitch, randomized pitch. Okay, so as I play my drums, I can turn this up. Okay, now if I have a whole bunch of that kind of stuff going and I go to the next scene and I want it to snap back to 0, right? Right now my macro is all the way down. If I go back to the launch screen, I have this row. Let's say that every time I launch this row, I want it to go back to this position with all my effects turned off, okay? And I can do that by holding Edit and the Launch button and taking a snapshot, okay? So now, if I play the row, I can mangle it, and if I launch it again, it snaps back to 0, okay? Now, I can do that with, let's say, this guy's down. On this macro here, I've got some stuff going to my synths. Listen. It's a resampler, which is like a bit crusher. Notice it snapped back. It still says that there's some here, but it's not, okay? It's just a bug. It needs to show on the screen that it snapped back to 0. Thing is, notice that when I launched this row, well, you couldn't really tell, but here we can launch this row, and I can turn this up, okay? But if I turn it all the way down, and I hold Edit, Launch, and take a snapshot, now I can granulate it, launch it again, and it goes back to 0. Again, it doesn't show on the screen that it went back to 0, but it did, okay? So that's a good one. Let's move on to a more complex, that's basically what the Automation Snapshot does in the way that I use it. Let's go on to a more advanced example. Okay, now I have this little track loaded up. I've got each one of these fired off. Let's listen to all of these at once. Listen. Okay, and then I've got this drop. It's not really developed, none of this is good, but let's listen to this drop. Okay, so in the last section, I showed you exactly how to set things up for individual instruments. In here, things are a little bit more complex. If we go to the mixer, on each one of these channels, I've got some effects. I've got reverb, delay, flanger, filter, and on this channel here, I've got a granulator and a multi-tap delay, okay? And all of those are set to these macros. Now, here's the thing. Without the Automation Snapshot, okay, all of these are turned off. Right now, if I launch this, okay, I can take my Automation Snapshot now, which is to hit Edit and take a snapshot, right? And now, if I stop all clips and I get each of these going, okay, if I'm doing a build-up, all right, I've got some drums here. Let's say I want to first mess with the drums. Okay, and then I'm messing things up, I'm playing live on stage, and this is like a breakdown part. And I'm sending all of these to each one of their effects. And then this is on the master channel. So I got a brrrr, and back to normal. Okay, so that's how I use it. In this case, there's only 7 knobs here, but if I was to try to use my hands to snap those back to normal before the drop, it would be almost impossible, right? And so this allows me to take a snapshot of the settings that I want in the effects or in the filters or in the pitch of different samples or anything that I want, and be able to mangle it beyond recognition and have it snap back to normal. All right, now you know how to set things up and how to use the Automation Snapshot in your performances. I'm going to go back to the first project. I'm going to play some music. Everybody be blessed.